Continuing our discussion with Ronesh Dhawraj about the upcoming conference, the African National Congress convening its 54th National Conference, where more than 4,500 delegates will determine the organization's policy, programs. But what we're focusing in on is the election of its leadership for the next 5 years. Seems to be a two-horse race between the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, and Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, who just won the KwaZulu-Natal nomination yesterday. Ronesh, we'll continue our conversation. Just very quickly, we'll try and get through as much as we can because we don't have too much time. Last week, and I'd like to just get your views on this, the Pietermaritzburg High Court reserving judgment in the case of the ANC leadership seeking to appeal a September ruling marking its contentious November 15 conference null and void. Can we expect the court to conclude this case before the National Conference?
I think the court case will be concluded. I think we should get some kind of judgment maybe by the end of this week or early next week. But remember, the judgment, whatever the outcome, will not necessarily affect National Conference because this really affects the sitting Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC and KZN. So if the court does not rule in favor of the respondents, the sitting PEC, it is likely that they will appeal. They will approach the Supreme Court of Appeal to take it to another level. If they lose there at that level, then obviously the last form of appeal will be the Constitutional Court. That will be the apex court. But also the other part of the judgment is the execution order. The execution order was filed by the applicants, and they want the current PEC, the sitting PEC, to vacate office and get the ANC NEC to intervene and install a provincial task team to guide the KZN ANC to another conference, which will happen possibly after National Conference that's in December.
One or two questions from viewers. Jola writing in and saying, is a PEC of provinces, do they have votes, or is it only branches and leagues that have the vote?
No, every PEC does have a vote. Remember, PECs, the Provincial Executive Committee in the 9 provinces, have between 20 to 30 members. Those members normally, they filter through the provincial legislatures. So those PEC members do have votes. Like we saw in previous conferences, those PEC members will vote at National Conference. Some of them are also members of the NEC. So those votes are not necessarily duplicated. So they'll vote in one structure at National Conference.
All right. And then just one question, perhaps, again, your views, but I might be putting you a little bit on the spot here, or not me. It would be Nazim that's going to be doing this. Nazim Grootboom writing and saying, if Ramaphosa loses, are we going to see him breaking away from the party? Do you think this will be the start of the breakup of the ANC?
I think what we saw in Polokwane, that a breakaway is a possibility, can happen, but I don't think Ramaphosa is, comes from that school of thought, because he's been part of the ANC. He's also been part of the union movement in this country. He was very instrumental in the drafting of the South African Constitution. So I don't think Ramaphosa and his supporters will necessarily break away. We could see maybe a small splinter party breaking away from the ANC, but I don't think it will necessarily be spearheaded by Cyril Ramaphosa. Should his slate, or should his followers, or should his faction not win in 2 weeks?
All right. Let's leave it there, Ronesh. Thank you so much for your analysis. I think we need to make this a weekly, or at this stage, a daily feature, because there's just so many questions that are coming through, and that we need to get some answers to as South Africans. But thanks again, Ronesh Dhawraj. He's in our Durban studios. He's one of our SABC senior political researchers, and he's here to answer all our questions when it comes to this upcoming ANC conference that we'll be seeing starting on the 16th. The time is 5 minutes.